Alright, WhiteRa is ready. HayprO is ready. We are all ready, so let's kick it off with this Best of 5 series brought to you by Club3D. Alright, the countdown has now begun. GSL Dual Sight will be the first in this Best of 5 series matchup. I am absolutely looking forward to this one. Both these guys have been on fire lately. Really impressive play. Alright. Scoreboard will need a slight little bit of adjustment. It's not playing ball with me. There we go, now it's playing ball with me. I don't want you moving anywhere. I can just see horrible things happening. There, it's locked. Everything is wonderful. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us begin. Oh yes, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to bring you Thermaltake Esports WhiteRa. He is in the blue trunks. He is playing Protoss to the east of this particular map, which of course the GSL Dual Sight, versus his opponent. It's LiquidHayprO. He is in the red trunks playing Zerg to the west. Well, both these guys have been putting on some exceptional performances lately. I remember the performance of course, HayprO in MLG. Who can forget the beast mode that HayprO entered into? They actually went Super Saiyan. Not sure if it was SSJ2 or SSJ3. I don't know anything about Dragon Ball Z whatsoever. But the point of the fact is that he beat Nesty convincingly, and he almost beat MVP. Honestly, he should have beat MVP. There were some minor mistakes that led that to not happen. And then, of course, what more can we say about Thermaltake Esports' own WhiteRa, who has been doing exceptionally well and is not forge fast expanding. This actually might be something worth etching into a stone tablet, because WhiteRa is one of these guys that loves to forge fast expand, but let's be honest, this is not an ideal map for it at all. So I don't really blame him. Oh god, he's not being greedy. WhiteRa is actually a really greedy player. I don't know if you guys have really noticed this. It's not a bad thing. That's actually a really good thing. He takes some risks that tend to pay off and allow him to do some crazy stuff. But yeah, WhiteRa was going incredibly well through DreamHack. He did amazingly in both of his group stages. He unfortunately then, of course, went out before the round of 4, but still, what an amazing performance from WhiteRa. He's always consistently high in tournaments. I think that's the one thing you can say. WhiteRa does not get knocked out of tournaments easily. That's just how damn good he is. The veteran in him, the competitive experience. WhiteRa getting very cheeky right there. That could have, of course, been a surround. But bear in mind that even doing that kind of thing, if you're very skilled and sneaky, you can get out of there with your probe and, of course, have wasted mining time in the process. I suppose a lot of people in lower leagues like to think, oh, I surrounded a probe, aren't I great? And then you're going to think, well, how much mining time did I lose by surrounding that probe? And WhiteRa is a sneaky little individual. As you can tell, I put the sneaky music into the background. This is the sneaky probe. Extract coming up right now for HayprO. He's not going to play a gasless style early on, which is... it's fairly popular. WhiteRa's actually taken both the Simulazes right here. Always a good thing. Once you get his Stalker out, he's going to skip the Zealot, as WhiteRa tends to do. That's a very, very common trait of WhiteRa. And will then perhaps start to pump out some sentries in order to expand. Always a good thing, and usually the reason why you would grab two of those. Of course, there are other things you can do. Interestingly enough, putting a pylon to the top there might be trying to conceal something later on. We should keep an eye on that. Perhaps the Scantipede knows. Does it know? No, it doesn't know. It doesn't know anything. A little bit of harassment going on right there by WhiteRa. However, it's hidden in the bushes. Yet, it's amazing that this actually works in this high-tech world, isn't it? Oh, I can't see the Overlord. It's hidden behind some leaves. This is why the Protoss are a dying race. Seriously. They're not as technologically advanced as they would like you to believe. Sneaky Probe has now finally been eliminated. Twilight Council coming up right here for WhiteRa. That's an interesting maneuver, deciding not to expand just yet. I'm intrigued to see what's going to come out of that. Blinkstalker play is absolutely fine here. Nothing wrong with that. Could, of course, be going for a silly bit of Dark Templar play. That's always a possibility to bear in mind. You never quite know. Very unpleasant against Zerg sometimes. A little bit of Stalker harassment there is quite nice as well. Going to poke away at that Queen, and yes, Stalker can take on a Queen, no problem. He can't really take on two Queens, but what he can do is to try and waste injection time. As it turns out, that's actually what's going to happen here. HayprO's going to have to move over there. A little bit of an injection miss there. It's not a huge deal, but yes, it will be Dark Templar. Interesting one-base DT play right here. WhiteRa's going to have to be very careful. There we go. I think HayprO almost let him do that. There we go, he's bringing out the second Stalker. It's unfortunate that HayprO did not, of course, have his speed, otherwise he would have been able to snake past that, and he would have seen the Twilight Council. However, he's got to be a bit suspicious right now, because WhiteRa hasn't expanded yet. So the 6-minute mark, it's kind of late. Stalker eliminated. More Zerglings moving in right here to do some more damage. Stalker's, of course, not exactly ideal against that. He doesn't want to let him in, and he shouldn't have any problems denying that. But he's going to lose another Stalker in the process. So HayprO doing some reasonable damage here. 2 Stalkers traded for those Lings. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. And has droned up very heavily behind this. Let's have a look at the drone count. It's actually 34, now 40, in fact, to 28. And he's now going to start taking the gas as well. Hasn't gone to Lair Tech yet. That's interesting. Evo Chamber coming up at around the appropriate time to deal with any kind of Dark Templar play. The thing is, the Dark Shrine is almost complete. Now, the question is, where is he going to put it? Well, he's got a sneaky little probe here. Sneaky probe music is still going on in the background, as you can tell. And he can put down an aggressive pylon and start to harass. That could get very, very messy indeed. However, Spore Crawlers should come up. Admittedly, he's not actually building any Spore Crawlers yet, which is an interesting and extremely risky thing to do, considering what's about to hit him. Ooh, this probe's actually going to get spotted by that. He's got to put down that pylon immediately. Either that or he's just actually going to run all the way across the map. Definitely a possibility. Never mind, actually. He's got a sneaky pylon up there. There we go. I didn't even see that. Very sneaky. Couldn't even see it against the minimap. And there we go. Dark Templar harassment coming in right here for WhiteRa. HayprO's going to lose his main if he's not careful here. In fact, it's almost certain that he will. Well, that's not a good start here for HayprO. Not at all. In the meantime, we've also had this one. And HayprO GG's immediately. There we go. One base Dark Templar play there by WhiteRa. And the first of this best of 5 series going immediately to him. And HayprO caught completely off guard by that. Well, hey, it did the job. Also, turns out that blue is really horrible on that map because you can't see it up against the mini-map. Oh, well, never mind. There you go. WhiteRa with a 1-base Dark Templar play is able to take the first game from HayprO. And I will ask him what his map choice is for the next one. Still everything to play for. This best of 5 series for $300 is brought to you by Club3D.